constant reminder there would be no surrender. A fierce clash of brute force ensued. Without protection of pads nor helmet, the Gridiron Warrior seemed outmatched.
Things not looking good for Lawrence Taylor.
I think Bam Bam can probably beat him anytime he wants to, but he wants to show the world he's making a statement.
Suddenly, a Niagara of blue and black poured down. The clarion call of the final bell signaled the end for Bam Bam.
Unbelievable! Lawrence Taylor has done the impossible.
On any given day, anything can and does happen.
Welcome, everybody, to Juice Pro Wrestling, episode 26, From the Gridiron to the Square Circle. With me tonight is a returning guest, Bobcat Deveney. How you doing?
All right. Hopefully I will be helpful, but cool. Okay, then.
We also call him Eddie D.
Eddie D. Well, all right.
All right.
How you doing, fucking Eddie D?
Decent.
Well, all right. A little shout out to Tim and Eric there.
Yeah,
actually, Tim Heidecker. And with me once again for like, what is this now? Like 4
or 5.
4 or 5. It's all right because I enjoy every time you're on. The host of Musically Meditated podcast, James Joseph Riley.
How y'all doing? Thanks for having me, man.
What up, Double J?
What up? JJR.
JJR. Joey Only in the house.
Joey Only. Joey Whitelegs. And sometimes Joey Kane.
There you go. Sometimes.
Kane or King?
Kane.
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 Joey Kane.
Not like the devil's favorite demon Kane.
Right.
But we're getting insane. Anyways, it is fall now, officially. As of the 22nd of September.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting here, we were I think this idea kind of popped up on episode 25.
Yes.
The Lucha Underground episode. Feel free to go check that out. I had this idea of it's football season, and there's been a lot of guys, NFL players, college players, to go from the gridiron to the squared circle. The squared circle of life. Circle of life. But I had this idea. I was like, man, this would be perfect. And I think a lot of people would be interested in if we could provide some information on some of these guys that have kind of jumped ship from the gridiron to the squared circle. I had to get it in one more time.
Large athletic human beings,
Yeah. So with that being said, let's just let's dive in. Some of these guys might be a little obscure to you out there in the JP Woo listening. Some of them, we're going to try to touch on all the ones because we got quite a list here compiled by Bobcat over here.
It could have been bigger.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Where's the Durs when you need them? He's good at dropping that. Timing is everything.
Ed and his research, man, it's pretty...
it's second to none.
Yeah, I have a lot of free time. That's what helps.
Yeah,
free time.
It's better than masturbation.
Yeah,
putting your mind to use.
No comment on that. Okay.
Well, Ed does enjoy a lot of manga.
Yeah.
And you know how? Don't they have like a Japanese cartoon?
Hentai,
yeah.
With octopuses. But
all right, that's for another time, Ed. You sick bastard.
Yeah.
Let's dive straight into one of probably the most popular wrestler of all time. Next to our beloved Hulk Hogan, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Now, you all know him as a former WWE champion, but you would also like to know, where did he play football?
Well, I don't know. It's collegiate stuff. He was the U.
Yeah. He was Miami, and he did the Hurricanes with, he was with, what's his name, from Baltimore, Ray Lewis.
Really?
Okay, yeah.
They're on the same team?
Yeah, they were on the same team.
I think The Rock had to be a senior when he was a freshman, though. The age gap, I would think. But yeah, he was a badass defensive end.
Yeah,
he wasn't bad, but unfortunately wasn't good enough to
get
in
it got to a
NFL.
point where I'm looking around and I don't know. I might be hitting that wall.
Yeah, you very well might be. Not that good, Ed.
Hitting that wall right away.
Rock never made it to the NFL, but he did play college ball, and he played briefly for the Calgary Stampeders and the CFL. For all you that don't know, that's the Canadian Football League.
That's a crazy name, the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, they're all about Stampede up there because Stu Hart had the promotion up there in Calgary. It was Stampede Wrestling.
Well, I know that the Calgary Flames, NHL, they have a professional team. And I know this much, too, like the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers are like arch rivals. Like they hate each other.
Okay.
And Calgary's more of like the white collar city. And then Edmonton's more of the blue collar city.
Okay.
Like there's more oil refineries.
Like White Sox and Cubs.
Right, exactly. Okay. Yeah. So like I guess it's one of the like most long-going hateful, I don't know, just ongoing hate between those two franchises. But yeah, a little shout out to Alberta, Canada.
Hell yeah.
Right on.
Love it. Another one, The American Dream Doth the Road, Son of a Plumber.
I love it.
That was good. That was some good thick lift.
The Dream. You might be surprised to know that the Dream actually attended training camp with the Giants and the Patriots, which he chronicled in his 2006 DVD that WWE released. And it also talks about here that he was also offered, he was called by the Dolphins, but the Fast Money in Pro Wrestling lured him in. So suffice it to say,
Yeah.
He would have had to have been a lineman.
Oh, yeah. Dream was a big boy.
He was a big dude.
So it's almost like the Kiss approach where it's like, where's the money at? Okay.
Right.
Bart Scott.
Wow.
You remember Bart Scott, Joe?
Yeah, I do.
New York Jets linebacker?
Yeah, he's legendary.
He appeared in Impact Wrestling, which was formerly known as TNA, which it was TNA
then
at
GFW,
the time.
then back to Impact.
Right. Yeah, we won't. That's for another day, another time, another universe. He tried to punk out Kurt Angle in 2011 during a guest appearance on Impact, and
With
he ended
feared ankle lock.
Yeah, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle wrapped his ass up real quick. So.
Right quick.
Another one that I really like to touch on this one because Superstar Billy Graham's one of my favorites, dude. He was an Arizona man. Superstar Billy Graham didn't make the cut. He tried out for the Raiders and the Houston Oilers.
The Oilers.
Remember the Oilers?
I love the Oilers.
I miss the Oilers.
I do too.
Wait,
they moved
is that no more?
Yeah, they moved to Tennessee and became the Tennessee Titans. But originally they were the Tennessee Oilers for a minute, but then they switched the name.
Right.
And the Oilers name is still owned by someone.
Oh, okay.
Didn't they come back when they did come to Tennessee? They were still the Oilers for like a hot second?
Yeah, they were for like maybe 2 years.
John G., you're going to love this.
Yeah, and they stole their colors too because they're like baby blue and white.
Yeah.
Because that used to be the Oilers colors.
On the football helmet, what was the logo? Just the oil rig?
Yeah, the oil rig.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
Warren Moon.
Wait, with or without?
Oh
squirt?
Warren Moon for sure.
With the what? No squirt.
Okay,
no squirt. Just the oil rig.
Like the soda?
Yeah, black gold.
Black gold.
Texas tea.
The Houston Oilers. Warren Moon. Shout out.
Brian Urlacher, and this is one. He appeared in TNA. I actually have this on an old school TNA DVD. It's like the 50 greatest moments of TNA wrestling, and Urlacher appeared. The press slam former Survivor contest winner Johnny Fairplay, little Weasley looking dude. Are you aware of Johnny Fairplay?
He has kind of like hair like mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I asked if you were aware. You caught it.
But douchey. He's douchey.
Is he douchey?
Yeah.
You know what? With Urlacher too, he's a big man, and I remember like the weightlifting magazines. I got one. This was probably like a decade ago. But I remember he would warm up with incline bench, like 315, 3 sets, 10. Like, that's ridiculous.
I miss him.
But in like dudes with shorter arms usually could put up that kind of weight, know. But like he was very lanky.
Yeah.
But that's how strong Brian was.
Okay, does Urlacher look like a humongous version of Jerry Springer's ex security guy?
Oh, the cop, Steve?
Yeah. I just thought of that now. Yay or nay? What about drunk goggles?
I think you have those goggles on right now.
Okay. Sometimes it works magic, and sometimes, Ed, you're fucking drunk. Okay.
Just one Budweiser, and it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Squigglies.
Up next on the list is everybody's favorite UFC champion and / pro wrestling champion, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, his Lesnar left the WWE in, what was it? It was WrestleMania 20. I think he had his last match, the real stinker with Goldberg. Everybody knew they were both leaving. They got booed the whole time.
Famously bad.
Yeah. But he left because he was trying out. Like, UFC wasn't even in the picture. He was trying out for the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he did a couple practices, and I don't know if he ever did preseason or not, but they ended up cutting his ass.
Yeah, it was the Vikings.
So that's kind of weird because I don't know like too much of Brock's background. I know he was like a badass collegiate wrestler.
Yeah, it was all wrestling. And then just all of a sudden after WWE, he was like, let me try fucking football. It's like, okay, phone boy.
You know what I think that probably was? Because not for lack of like physical skill, because Brock is a bad motherfucker, you know, but
yeah.
I think maybe he just didn't get like the plays and everything. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't click up there.
Because the thing is, you've had people playing from fucking like like elementary to fucking college, and if he just grabs it now, they're like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
That would make sense.
Long story short, his football career did not equal that of the great Andrew Zappa Wallace.
Yeah,
laying him out, getting shutouts, 28-0. Shout out to the Durs.
Right on. But yeah, with Brock, I mean, just to tip your hat to him, though, I mean, UFC heavyweight champ, you know, like you said, obviously professional wrestling champ, and then to try out with the NFL, like that's impressive.
Supposedly, sorry I didn't find the research, but I remember when it did happen, he had a good Columbine record. But usually Columbine records is not really that.
It sounds like you're saying Columbine.
Yeah, like,
put
I
the
don't
coat
know
away.
How to pronounce it.
Yeah, put your trench coat away.
I tried.
Put that pistol down now.
Put that Tech 9 down.
Tekanina.
I'm still oiling my guns. Shut up.
Yes, sir.
Here's a good one. One of Joe's favorites, Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Yeah. I could just tell he was a fire plug.
He had brief stints with the Cowboys and the Raiders. So he actually played. Yeah. Before coming in, you know, Calgary Stampede Wrestling and eventually WWE, forming one half of the Hart Foundation, which is probably going to go down as one of their best tag teams ever.
And he was married to
Brett's sister.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they had like, 6 siblings or something? It was huge.
Oh, Brett's family?
Yeah.
I think it was like 10. There was like, there was a lot, dude.
And they always talked about his strength. Like he just had that crazy, like my dad always calls it like cock strong or hillbilly strong. Like,
yep.
He just had that hillbilly strength, you know, like he just...
Because he wasn't a very tall dude.
Oh, God, no.
He was short.
Oh, no, he was squat.
Yeah,
but probably a little taller than Taz.
Yeah, fuck Taz.
But yeah, could you imagine, like, I wonder what position he played. He probably had to be on the line. We'd have to look that up. But, man, he would be a force to block.
Yeah, I would imagine, dude.
With that strength.
A lineman, or maybe you think... Because back in the day...
Or linebacker.
Linebacker, or maybe even running back. I don't know. I don't know what his speed was like, because he wasn't he didn't have the gut like he did.
I would say he would probably be on the line, but I don't think he'd be fast enough for the NFL
But he could be just like a moving wall.
Yeah.
Like no one could tackle him.
Probably more offensive line. You know, all those nerds out there could check out that stat.
Check out this stat though. Fritz Von Erich. For those of you that don't know who Fritz Von Erich is, he's the father of the famous Von Erich family, like guys like Kevin Von Erich, the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich. You remember him, Joe, right?
Oh yeah.
Tornado ruled.
I love the Texas Tornado.
Hell yeah.
That's my guy.
And one of his main moves was the claw. But this is actually a new one for me because I didn't really know this. He ran world-class championship wrestling out of Texas, which spawned all kinds of badass tandems like the Freebirds that I love. I always think Michael Hayes reminds you of your dad.
What? Because like the mullet?
Shout out to Big Joe Riley. No, just he just the face and like
energy?
the body hair.
The body hair. You
And the
remember my
mustache?
dad's body hair?
Yeah. Wait, that didn't sound good.
No, but you know who you reminded me of too? My dad was Steiner.
Rick Steiner.
Steiner,
Yeah.
the mustache.
The mustache, the
And
dog face
build, my dad
gremlin.
always had big arms.
Yeah, dude. Man, that would have been so awesome if you just put some headgear on, a singlet, like for Halloween.
Have him bring that mustache back.
What up, Big Joe? Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Dad.
But Fritz actually had a stint with the Dallas Texans. Not the AFL franchise that became the Chiefs, but an NFL franchise that went out of business after the 1952 season.
And that's why they, like we talked, to digress back to the Oilers in Houston, when they came out with the franchise Houston Texans, that's why they brought that name back.
Okay.
So just some random facts.
Here's another one that coming across. I came across some old like Mid-South wrestling on the WWE network lately.
Okay.
And we're all familiar with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
I loved him when I was a kid.
Hey, tough guy. Hey, he does have the 2x4.
The 2x4 was my favorite.
Do that he probably had a lot of splinters.
Yeah.
And he's also famous for kind of ruining kayfabe and getting busted with coke and weed with the Sheik when they were supposed to be feuding.
Yeah.
Back when the WWE or WWF back then was still trying to like, hey, this is a legit.
But they're out blasting.
We apartheid.
Oh, yeah.
We apartheid to faces and
To
the
quote
heels.
David Allen Coe, lay me down some rails, boys. Don't put me in jail, boys. He exposed the business that night. Probably himself, too. Who knows? But when he first debuted, he debuted as a bad guy.
Really?
Yeah. And
With or without the 2x4?
without.
Okay.
He was actually kind of weird looking. Watch out for that mic. It'll get you.
It'll get you.
Dog get you about to get you.
But did you mention the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's weird, man.
That is weird. I never knew that.
Also going on to become the first winner of the Royal Rumble, the very first Royal Rumble that ever happened. He will always hold a place in history for that. And then he became a janitor in WCW. Real
I love
talk.
your climax.
So do I. So does the first lady, JP Dub. What up, Lil E?
Lil E in the house.
Say what up. No. Much love for Lil E.
Lil E.
Up next, one of my favorite pro wrestlers of all time, Ron Simmons. Damn. For those of you that don't know and aren't aware, that was Farouk, his character in WWE, but he was also one of my favorite tag teams, Doom. Him and Butch Reed, just two big-ass black dudes, like, with Teddy Long as their manager. They kind of remind me of, like, a Afro-American version of, like, the Road Warriors, but without the spikes and everything.
Yeah. It was a low-key gimmick, but just strong.
They were just two big, ripped dudes that were no-nonsense come in. They were real hard, real stiff.
Real hard.
I've heard another thing about Ron Simmons is he was one of those guys who didn't have to work out, but just like Jim Anvil, that he was like really fucking strong.
Freak of strength.
Yeah.
He actually, and I believe he's in the College Football Hall of Fame, had a great career at Florida State. He was drafted in the 6th round of the 81 draft by the Cleveland Browns.
Shout out. That's my team. They just got their first win.
Yeah. Shout out to Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know I'm not a huge Cleveland fan, but
635 days since
gotta love the dog
win.
pound. Gotta love the colors too, man. That orange and brown.
It gets you.
It does.
Yeah, look at that. 1981 Cleveland Browns. Right on.
It says his NFL USFL career was short-lived, but he became the first recognized African-American world champion when he beat Vader in WCW. I remember watching that on TV as a kid.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever because he was so super over and just like intense.
He had a good build.
Yeah, he had a great build. And you know, as a wrestling fan,
in a story too, he had a good build too.
Oh yeah.
Because you said he had a great body build. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, anybody that's a fan of pro wrestling, you got it. You're a liar if you say you don't look at these guys' physiques. And it's like,
I just look at people's facial heads, okay? Facial heads.
He's looking to see how many pubes are tucking out of them tights. There was a lot in the 70s and 80s. Just ask Michael Hayes.
And poop stains.
He's a meat gazer.
Man.
He's a meat gazer.
He's a WWE Hall of Famer. Let's see here. He played college football for the University of Maryland as a professional. Oh, wait. No, this is Frank John Wycheck.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks for blending shit in.
Yeah. We're talking about Frank John Wycheck now.
Yeah.
Right on.
Are you familiar with Frank?
No, but the last name sounds familiar. I think there was like some Wychecks.
Said he became a color commentator for the Tennessee Titans radio network. 2004, he began co-hosting a morning sports radio show on the Nashville radio station, WGFS.
Because some of these are not just either booking or just commentating.
There was a couple different Wychecks that were, I think there were two different brothers, but they were offensive linemen, and it looks familiar to me. I see he played for the Tennessee Titans here.
Could it be the father? Could it be Daddy?
Yeah, maybe it was.
It was a daddy.
Daddy?
Should throw a shout out to Musically Meditated Podcast with that John Davis trip. Daddy. Right.
I found Daddy.
Corn.
Not alone.
We're gonna have to do a corn episode. Probably not.
Up next, everybody's favorite methamphetamine, cocaine crack abuser, Lawrence L.T. Taylor, the guy that you out there in the JP Woo were listening was pretty much how would you put this in the words? He was our intro, so to speak. That was his little thing. He had a match with Bam Bam Bigelow. But former New York Giant linebacker Lawrence Taylor. Everybody knows LT if you're a football fan.
They just had a really nice 30 for 30 about him on
Really?
ESPN. Yeah, I just watched
Was
it
this
like 2 nights
brand
ago.
new?
It's brand new. It's an amazing, episode.
Yeah, check
And
that
people
out.
don't know this. I mean, people probably do, but if you don't, they had like the NFL offense, they had to change like the basic offenses like setup. Like you had to have a tailback or a running back to block
Mhm.
because he was such a threat as a linebacker. So it's like
Dude, LT
he
was
changed the
legit.
game.
Yeah,
He
Yeah,
changed
because
the
the
game.
thing is, he was just so dominant. They had to just fix
Yeah.
strategies just for him.
For him.
Damn.
Yeah. Like he changed the game of football. Like that's how powerful and badass he was.
Oh yeah. Shout out to
shout
LT.
out to LT. Remember his little stint in was it Waterboy?
Was he in Waterboy?
Yeah, remember he's like talking to the kids about football and he's like, and don't do crack.
Oh,
Remember?
I do
remember that?
remember now. Yeah, yeah.
With his dangly earring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He always had that
LT.
dangly earring and that flat top,
That
dude.
flat
Oh,
top.
yeah.
That fade.
Yeah, he
man.
had a nice fade, and I think he'd like do the steps.
Thunder?
And
Oh
shit.
yeah,
the thunder.
I did the lightning bolts as a kid.
I had steps.
Yeah,
I had the steps.
everybody did.
I didn't have a rat tail though.
One time I
Oh,
shaved
I had
my
a rat
eyebrows
tail.
like.
Of course, you had a rat tail kindergarten.
Look, you still do. Now you got like a rat's
Oh,
nest.
no. yeah, that or like, yeah. Oh, wide mullet compared to like bozo. Like a mullet and a bozo without redness.
You
Yeah.
look like a Jewish bozo the clown.
yeah. You know, something really sexy. Yeah.
I love it. Up next, Bronko Nagurski. Joe, you know Bronco, don't you?
Yeah.
Member
he
of
was
my beloved Chicago Bears, dude, way back in the day. Dude.
1943.
Yep.
Try to remember the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 63.
Yep.
Then he retired, it says, and then he won his first NWA career as a heavyweight and
Beating
won it
Luke-
twice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
from the
NWA
legend.
World's Heavyweight Champion, the 10 pounds of gold. So there you go, man. I mean,
Bronco.
that's
No, I had. Wow,
And
I
then
didn't know that he
before
wrestled.
return to NFL, he went after. So he went to wrestling, and then he went back to football.
yeah. And it's
They don't make men like that anymore.
No, dude, no. Hell no.
Especially with your first name's Bronco, you're just gonna.
Yeah, and Nagurski,
You're gonna
like
be a
that.
badass.
You ever play that game like where you just make up names, like
Yeah.
whether it's in sports or something like that? Would be a good baseball name, like Mike Schmidt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or football, Bronko Nagurski,
Nagurski, yeah.
Brian Urlacher,
Who beat your ass, Bronco Nagurski?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Dick
Right.
Buttkiss.
Dick
What?
Buckus.
Exactly. And the closest we come is Bork Laser.
Bork Laser.
Bork Laser.
The Bork Laser.
And actually, it says here that to win his first NWA championship, he beat the legendary Lou Thez in 1939
Damn.
for his first title reign. So that goes to show you how long the NWA has been around. They
Mhm.
are the oldest like organized professional wrestling company, and it's great to see Billy Corgan back with them doing
Is this
good things.
world? So it's either bigger than in Japan and British too?
What, the NWA?
Yeah.
I
Because
believe
it's
so.
70
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, they're celebrating their 70-year anniversary
That is
coming up.
impressive.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
And dude, the belt is so awesome. It's just a classic, and it hasn't really ever changed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the 10 pounds of gold. It's,
Mhm.
I mean, it's pretty much stayed the same as it always was.
Oh,
so
that's
it's got like
cool.
this aesthetic, you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
Old
legit.
school, like,
nostalgic,
yeah.
just
right.
awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
No
Shout out to
fucking shiny
Bronco.
red diamonds on it.
Yeah.
We'll be talking shit about the
Swarovski
big gold belt.
crystals. Yeah.
All right, up next we got Ernie Ladd, Big Cat Ernie Ladd. Let's see. He played defensive tackle for the San Diego Chargers, the Houston Oilers, and the Chiefs before he took his 6'9" frame and in the pro wrestling.
That's a big dude, especially
He was
for
huge,
those
dude.
days,
If,
man.
I remember if you,
6'9".
yeah, and he was going against guys. I think Andre fought against Ernie.
Yeah, there was a couple times. I
I'm
think.
sure Andre probably just had his way with him, though. I mean, you can't.
But yeah,
Ernie was a big
making
guy,
a
but
6'9" guy look small, you know. But
Yeah.
he was the
7
giant.
foot tall, 500-pound giant. Like,
I think
no, my baby oil.
it was either him or another black wrestler where I think Andre said like the N word, and they like, you know what?
That's not cool, Andre.
I don't
Not
care
cool.
even if you're Andre. You're not saying that shit around me. And then
Yeah.
even Andre's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, and here's a fun fact for you out there in the JP Woo. He's the only person ever inducted into the American Football League Hall of Fame and the WWE Hall of Fame.
Shout out.
It's-
Yeah. Not like the WWE Hall of Fame is really
big
anything, but you know.
Yeah, right by Drew Carey.
Hey, he's from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, right. Up next, another personal favorite that hits home, and I remember watching this. The Fridge, man, William
He was
Perry.
just here. He was just in the
Was
region
he?
at Bridges signing autographs yesterday.
Oh shit! I think I heard something about that.
Yeah. Bridges brings in a lot of old school.
Where's
Chicago.
Bridges at?
It's in Griffith.
Is it a restaurant bar?
Yeah.
Nice. Shout out to Bridges. You
Yeah.
know, Joe's got that Griffith collection or connection,
I do have that.
and he
Griffith
does have a Griffith collection.
But yeah, he was just there.
I was out there this past weekend, this past Sunday, and I like it. I like the town of Griffith. There's a lot.
They're doing a lot of things.
Yeah, we were,
A lot of nice things there.
I was kind of pissed. S&J was closed.
Was it?
Yeah, I wanted to, go check out that vinyl.
He's got a good selection.
Oh,
Region
yeah.
Records has a great selection too. But yeah, the Fridge was there signing autographs, and I guess he, after all the years of, destroying his body, he was in pretty bad shape physically, from what I was told. Like sitting the whole time. I don't know if it was a wheelchair or whatever, but he was a big boy.
Yeah, the Fridge. He made his pro wrestling debut at WrestleMania 2. They had a huge battle royal that had obviously pro wrestlers, and there was quite a bit of pro football players in there. So yeah, up next, probably one of the most famous names to go from the gridiron to the squared circle, the one, the only Bill Goldberg.
Hell yeah.
That's one of Joe's favorites, right?
I loved him. Yeah, I loved him. And to think about it too, like his move, the spear is just
Perfect.
a football tackle.
Yeah.
But it was executed so well, dude.
It was.
And he was like no nonsense. He was like the modern day version of like the Ultimate Warrior. Just straight intensity, come out, squash match a guy, and that was it. And it left you wanting more. Like you just.
Okay.
I remember like watching him back in the day, and like even when he came back for his last run, like he was 50, but he was still jacked. He could
he's still built like a brick shit house, dude.
Yeah, and he's been doing kickboxing, Muay Thai kickboxing since he's been out of wrestling.
And
but
he's adopted too, isn't he?
I don't know about
I
that.
think so.
I don't know. Think so.
And
I think he's
Jewish with a name like Goldberg.
all right. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We love the
But
Jews
I remember
out
I
here.
loved him so much. And I used to like the Falcons for a hot second.
Yeah.
I had to get the card. I remember I had to get his card.
Okay.
You have Goldberg's football card?
I did, yeah. And I'm pretty sure he was like number 99 or 98 or
How many
something crazy.
seasons?
I don't know.
He played quite a few. I think he played like 4 or 5.
Damn. Okay.
You guys out there can fact check me on that.
He went to Georgia University, which is a huge
The
football
Bulldog,
college. Yeah, man. Like,
AJ Styles is a big
they-
Bulldog fan.
they party there. They party. I guess, like, I know some people that go around to different college games, and I always hear Georgia just like throws down like, 80,000 people. They start, they just party the whole weekend. But yeah, Bill Goldberg, what a man.
From one Bill to the next, we have Cowboy Bill Watts, who was probably most famously known for running WCW there in the early mid-90s for a hot second. Actually played for the Minnesota Vikings, and he gave up in the 60s when the Vikings wouldn't let him wrestle in the off-season. Wow. It makes sense. Injuries, you know, for sure. That's kind of like, but they won't let him wrestle, but they probably would have let him play in a what do you call that? The All-Star bullshit game?
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
What is that
They have
called?
All-Stars of football?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of it. What is it called? The Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl.
That sounds.
I
I understand
honestly
baseball, but that sounds stupid for football.
And it's always at the end of the season, and nobody cares.
And the thing is, it should be like kind of like how they used to do the All Madden team. Just have it a team that you name and recognize people. Give them a fucking watch or a trophy or whatever it is. But don't have these dudes playing when it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just going to get hurt, and it's happened plenty of times.
I'm just gonna play drunk, Just a side game. Just a side game.
Like you always do.
Like you always do.
Ahmed Johnson. Do you remember Ahmed Johnson?
No.
Ahmed Johnson was in the WWE, mid-90s. His finishing move was called the Pearl River Plunge.
Okay.
Big black dude, like he had the armbands tied around him. He
I kind of remember now.
Yeah. Red.
Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah.
He kind of had a cross eyes a little bit.
Yeah. He's super, like, I mean, if you see him nowadays, dude, he's like way out of shape, just huge, and you wouldn't recognize him.
That's sad.
He jumped to WCW in the late 90s as one half of the new Harlem Heat with Stevie Ray.
Okay. Ooh. I'm just going ooh because I'm like, you need some kind of charisma.
And it says that he won the Intercontinental title in
Yeah, he was there in
96.
Yeah. Feuded with Goldust.
Yeah, Goldust.
Justin, did you ever hear about like one of his like diva stories?
Who, Ahmed Johnson?
Yeah.
No.
One of them was supposedly he was like a block or two away from his hotel to the actual arena. He's like, I'm not going until like someone picks me up in a limousine. Like, we're not fucking doing that.
They picked him up in like 80.
No. So then the guy's like,
86 Caprice.
No, worse than that. He's like,
not even decked out.
I'm fucking leaving then. I'm going home.
What?
Yeah, I think he pulled that shit.
And you know what they said? See ya.
Exactly.
See ya, man.
Moving on next to a current athlete that has transitioned from the Gridiron to he is now with Impact Wrestling, was a former Impact Wrestling, not world champion, but they had for a little bit, they had a grand champion where it was like kind of set up. They fought, it was a title where it kind of had UFC rules.
I didn't really understand that grand champion shit. Like, I watched it, but I didn't really understand it in a pro wrestling state.
No, I mean, and that was actually an idea that dates back to Paul Heyman and Billy. I think Billy Corgan might have kind of took from that when he was there. But what it was they would do 3 rounds and they would have judges. And they would base it, like on intensity, whatever. And obviously the match would be over if a guy pinned him.
Yeah.
But it did seem kind of out of place for that. So,
and he was also in, before that, Ring of Honor.
Yeah, he was a big breakout star. We're talking about Quinn Moose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say his last name. It's Onaka? Ojinanaka? But anyway, Moose, I think he's great. He had a great match at Slammiversary with Austin Aries for the world title. He's now aligned himself, if you guys keep up with Impact Wrestling, with Austin Aries and Killer Cross. And they got this stable going, and it's pretty badass. But he played for the Falcons and several other. I think he played for the Pats, too.
Right on.
Before he joined Ring of Honor as a pro wrestler. And the dude's killing it, man.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now. So you guys check it out, Impact Wrestling, every Thursday on Pop TV.
I will.
Next is Darren Drosdorf. Do you remember Droz?
Yeah, I do remember.
Remember he was in the Legion of Doom for a hot second, and he pushed Hawk off the top of the titan shot, the drunk Hawk. I hate laughing about that because I love LOD, dude.
I know.
I'll do it then.
You piece of shit. Ed, you're not welcome back.
Eddie D stirring a pot over here.
But Droz came in. There's the infamous thing where he was going to debut as Puke. Like, there's video footage you guys can go check out on YouTube. And McMahon's like interviewing. He's like, so he brings him in. He's like, so what's your thing? What can you do? And he's like, well, I can throw up on like command. And he's like, really? He's like, let me see you do it. So he's like, he's gonna puke. This is Vince saying it, and he did, and he did on command. That was like his thing. He would like throw up,
awesome.
Walk into the ring. It was awesome till he met D'Lo Brown and
Roman showers.
Yeah, Roman rain showers with the other boys. Anyways, D'Lo he fucked him up. I think it was a pile driver or something that went wrong. He crippled him, so he's been paralyzed since. Man, it's been like mid or late 90s.
Damn, that's
whatever it was.
Yeah. Before 2001, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, but he also had a short stint as a defensive lineman for the Broncos before coming to WWE and becoming Droz and then joining Hawk and Animal as part of the LOD, which I was never really fond of. But
that sucks. He's paralyzed.
Yeah, it does.
Shit.
He's like
from the waist down?
No, I mean, this is like he
can
move his head a little bit. No, I don't think so. No,
so it's like Christopher Reeves almost. Ooh.
Crawl upon you like Christopher Reeves. That's so bad. We're evil people. We're really not. Just like to have a little fun. Up next is everybody's wrestler they love to hate, Roman Golden Showers Reigns. We'll just
Roman
skip
Reigns.
him.
Skip him.
Yeah. Up next is one of my favorites, actually. Big Ed the Assassin. Get well soon, Ed. He's kind of down with the flu right now.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, the flu, huh?
Yeah, the flu.
It's
He's
going
got like a stomach bug flu thing going on.
Ooh.
So
I hope you didn't bring that germ over here with you.
oh, that's all
Hopefully
right.
it recuperates
I'm glad I got
fast.
my hand sanitizer and a lot of vitamin C. Anyways, we're talking about Chico Santana, as Jesse the Body
Dude, I
Ventura
loved
used to
him.
refer to him. But no, Eddie, real quick, Eddie came home with a bunch of the old LJN wrestlers, the big tall guys.
That was my favorite one.
Yeah,
the Tito
dude.
Santana one. He was in purple, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he had the wristbands on.
Yep.
His hands were like that.
He's got him. Yeah, and he had Jesse the Body. I guess one of his guys bought a foreclosure, and he sent him a picture. He's like, hey, someone's trying to break into your car, and like, I can't stop him. And he sent a picture, and it was all like 20 of these LGN figures like on his windshield.
Yeah, did he put that on his Facebook or something?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But
he got there's a whole box of them sitting in his garage, and it's pretty badass.
I love that Tito figurine. Shout out to Luke Greener. When we were kids, he had all of them, and then like I was a little bit older and I was a dick, and I'd like tell him who was going to win the match, and like Tito would always.
Joe Riley had creative control.
I did. And then I would like, all right, now Tito's gonna win. He'd be like, okay, and then like he'd come out of nowhere and just beat everyone.
Remember, he always had the little sombrero in the corner on the back of his tights, dude. I loved it. I loved it.
Man, he was the man. But yeah, it says
and his real name. Go ahead with his real name, Joe.
His real name? It's Tito Santana, right?
No, you don't see it.
It's number 31.
Right. It says Tito Santana was
Merced Solus.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't even know.
That's a pretty weird
name.
Strangely brutal name.
Merced Solus. It sounds like a disease.
Yeah.
Why is my name a verb, Dad?
Why is my name a STD?
Oh, ouch.
Oh. Sorry to all the Solus families out there.
Sren's going to drop that buzzer at the
But yeah, he tried out for the Chiefs. And then he was Canadian Football League, it says. But,
and then he went to wrestling.
Became
a WWE Hall of Famer. And
like, we got to change that name there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Merced.
What the hell? I never even knew that. Like that going back to like the early episodes of JP Dub when we would do the name. Shout out to Aaron Cug Reimer. He kind of threw me for a loop when he had real wrestlers' names, and he's like, "Who are these wrestlers?" And I got half of them right, but there were a lot that just threw me off, dude. That Sergeant Slaughter's name, I think his real name, it's like a Mexican name or something like that. I'm like, you gotta fucking be kidding me.
He's Hispanic, huh?
I don't know if he is or not. I mean, I would assume.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So anyway.
Jorge Gonzalez? Really?
Yeah. Brandon Jacobs. You all know who Brandon Jacobs is.
Badass.
He appeared in Impact Wrestling and chokeslammed Bully Ray through a table. So you have that.
Big boy.
And then moving on to, I don't know if you're familiar or not with Monty Brown. A guy who had a lot of potential as a pro wrestler, probably one of the smoothest transitions I've seen next to like Moose. Yeah, well, you remember old TNA wrestling, right? Watching TNA with Monty Brown. He ended up going to WWE and becoming in their new, when they relaunched ECW.
Yeah.
And he was Marcus Corvair or Corvon.
Yeah.
And he was there for not even a year and he left. But now I think he's doing like personal training as his own gym and everything. But he played for the Bills.
I remember him on the Bills.
Yeah.
He was good. He was a good football player.
Yeah. What is this? It says it celebrates his team's 30-13 win AFC championship victory over the Chiefs.
in 94.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those Bills teams that were awesome. Remember? Like they made the Super Bowl 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
He was at the tail end of that.
He's also one of the select few that have been able to compete in both a Super Bowl and a WrestleMania.
That's a cool statistic.
That is, because it, as far as entertainment goes, because yes, it's sports, but at the end of everything, sports is entertainment. You know, that we watch it to be entertained. And those are probably the two, at least in this country, the two biggest events. Because when WrestleMania goes, they sold out, what's the Cowboy Stadium? And they sold like 100,000 seats.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn big time, you know?
It's huge.
And it's people from all over the world. It's a global phenomenon, you know? So, that's a pretty cool fact. And then he joined the ECW New Breed and was never heard of again. Next is one of my personal favorites. And for you old school cats out there listening, Dick the Bruiser.
I love that name.
Yeah, I believe he was from Chicago, I thought. Let's see. He his name actually is William Fritz, parentheses, Dick Atlas.
Just call me Dick the Bruiser.
Just call me Dick Atlas.
Yeah, he actually played. He played with the Packers, just missing out on being coached by the infamous Vince Lombardi. Probably, what would you say, one of the best coaches ever?
Yeah, I
in
mean,
the NFL. I mean,
he's arguably
statistics don't lie.
Yeah, I mean, the trophy's called the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah, when you
exactly. You know what I was getting at.
Yeah, but there's, yeah. I'm just not a Packer guy, so
no, I don't want to show the Packers no love.
Right.
By no means.
No love for the Pack.
You're grounded, Durs.
Yeah, what's with that? Yeah,
I don't
he's a
know.
big Packer
I
guy.
don't get it. But he played with the team from 1951 to 54. Before Lombardi got there. He found his fame as Dick the Bruiser, though, in the AWA. He held the AWA World Heavyweight Championship, and his greatest success was with the Crusher, dude.
Crusher.
A lot of old school wrestling fans. You talk to them about the Bruiser and the Crusher. And
Dick the Bruiser was the guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pictures with like cigars in their face and shit, just smoking while like with a muscle pose.
And I just love the name Dick the Bruiser.
I know,
I'm surprised like Joey Ryan hasn't like jumped on that in some shape or form. It's hard to see Joey Ryan and talk about shapes in the same sentence. Famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan, back from the dead. Up next, we got a man. It's Tom. It's Vader. Tom.
Yeah, we just did an episode about him. He passed away this year, unfortunately.
Yeah. Leon White actually played for the Bengals, dude. He played on special teams for the Bengals in '84.
Those were good Bengals teams back then in the '80s.
Oh wait, no. I'm wrong. I'm getting into the next. Yeah, I knew it was the Rams. That's what I get for not trusting my gut and just talking about what I already know.
Third round pick for the LA Rams in the 1978 draft.
I think he played in the Super Bowl too. I thought he did.
Probably.
Yeah, you guys can go back and listen to. I forget what episode it is.
Yeah, I forget too. I was on it though.
Yeah,
it was a Vader episode.
So hit jpdub.com up or greendoornetwork.com. Or any podcast platform, and go back and check that out.
It was a good episode.
It was great.
Shout out to Vader.
Yeah, we love you, Vader.
We miss you.
Yeah. Up next, another guy, man, I really miss, and his son. Here, before I get to, well, I might as well say his name. We're going to talk about Brian Pillman, Flying Brian. He's the one that played for the Bengals. That's why you always remember the Bengal tights. He used to always wear those.
Yeah, he did.
His son, Brian Pillman Jr., who looks just like him. I saw on Twitter today. He wrestled a match for Black Label Pro out in Crown Point.
No shit.
I'm like, dude, how awesome would that be? I know he's not his dad, but I've been watching him develop through YouTube and other various outlets for wrestling, and he's a part of the New Heart Foundation in Major League Wrestling, which also includes the son of Davey Boy Smith Jr., and Teddy Hart, who is actually Bret Hart's nephew, and he's really just crazy high flyer, and they got the New Heart Foundation going on. They're badass, dude. I think they are probably one of the best stables outside of WWE. Next, obviously you got Bullet Club, which is the best thing going, but I think
trio,
those guys, they're gonna do some shit. And just the New Heart Foundation, come on, dude, that's badass.
That is cool.
Oh, for a football into a pro wrestler, wasn't Brian Pillman also one of the most high flying football into pro wrestler?
Yeah, he was flying. That's why they call him Flying Brian, man. He did a lot of top rope.
I mean, he
high
made
risk, high reward.
Yeah, he made legendary matches with Liga.
Well, it says here his early career he teamed up with Stone Cold.
Yeah, they were part of the Hollywood Blondes.
The Hollywood Blondes.
That's why he still wears the gold chain, I heard.
And then they feuded with him, and then he developed that crazy character. They call him the Loose Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, he just looked like a 90s kind of alternative grunge rocker dude.
Yeah.
And he was just badass. He would cut promos. He's like on Smart Marks he's like, a smart mark is a guy who smokes crack and thinks he knows what the fuck is going on. There's a famous I think maybe who is it? Is it Bird Flesh? There's a grind band that uses him as a sample, and it's pretty badass. But anyways, so Hollywood Blondes, moving on from Brian Pillman to another Chicago Bear, a lot of you out there listening are like, man, I've been waiting for this. We're talking about who, Joe?
The Mongo, Steve McMichael, who also goes to Bridges and signs autographs all the time.
Yeah, I seen him. I was at TNA Bound for Glory in 2008 at the Sears Center, and he was there, and it was cool. He was a ref, but the front half of his jersey, it was a jersey, was the ref outfit for TNA, and the back was the Bears with his old number on there, and had Mongo on it. It was pretty badass.
I just hated when, at the end of his career, he went to the Packers.
Yeah, why would you go there? You were on the 85 Bears, dude.
He was just the Bear guy. I like Mongo.
Okay.
I do like Mongo, too.
I heard he parties pretty hard.
Oh, yeah. I heard he can drink a lot of people under the table. The Minister of Defense,
Yeah, right.
That's a great name, too.
Right on. Moving on to Kevin Green.
Oh, wait. No, wait, Minister of Defense. I'm sorry, that was Reggie White. This is where I'm. Yeah,
But
whatever.
yeah, we'll
I
move
botch a
on.
mania at that. Real quick though,
Sorry.
just to touch on Mongo, he was also a member of the legendary Four Horsemen in the late '90s WCW.
Was he
So,
really?
yeah.
The one with
He was a
Chris
Four Horsemen.
Benoit.
It was him, Benoit, Flair, and Arn Anderson. Well, and then when Arn got hurt, Dean Malenko.
Okay.
Whoa, I did not know that.
Yeah. Kevin Green next.
Yeah, Kevin Green, man, he was an awesome linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him with the Carolina Panthers
Yep.
forever. They won that one Super Bowl. I think
Yeah.
it was their inaugural, like the year the Panthers came out. Kevin Green won a ring.
Yep, and he's with the Niners too. But he was doing that while he was doing WCW.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So
Yeah.
he kind of had that Deion
He still
Sanders
coaches
vibe.
to this day. Like, he's like an assistant coach somewhere. Like, he's always involved.
Really?
Yeah.
He also teamed up with the Nature Boy Ric Flair and R.I.P. Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
And they beat up the NWO, dude. They beat him during the Slamboree pay-per-view in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Right
Which go
on.
figure, you're booking Flair in Charlotte, North Carolina. You
Yeah.
figure he's got to go over,
Yeah,
another one, Adam Pac-Man Jones. He was actually
I had no idea he wrestled.
he was in TNA. He was actually a tag team champion with
Truth or
R-Truth.
Oh no, K Quick. He was that.
well, no, he was Ron the Truth Killings.
Okay.
Sounds about right because he was gangsta in real life.
Oh, yeah.
dude. He's always getting caught with guns and
Yeah.
drugs.
Well, he was doing that too while he was suspended, I believe.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Remember
yeah,
he was
yeah,
He had
yeah.
some
suspended.
extra, he had
Yeah.
to make some extra money there.
Yeah. So he actually competed at a Bound for Glory pay-per-view too, man.
He had a stunt called Making It Rain.
Yeah. Tried to pull off the Okada Rainmaker shit. Here's another good one. This is an old school one, and I'm sure, Ed, you'll know about this too. Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, who's another figure in Ed's LJN collection.
Oh, yeah, damn, really?
He was drafted in the 12th round of the 73 NFL draft by the Saints.
Damn.
Didn't stick around for the NFL long. It's fair to say Mr. Wonderful was earned between the ropes, not
The hash.
the hashes.
That's a good one.
I like it. Sean Merriman. This is I didn't know this. It said he did analyst work for the WWE Network following his retirement in 2013. In 2014, he told the Baltimore Sun he remains in talks with the company about becoming a wrestler. Yeah, so I did hear about this. He has wanted to be a wrestler for a long time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Verne Gagne, the founder and owner of the AWA. Verne, and this guy was a badass. He trained-
Teacher Ric Flair.
Yeah, dude, everybody, you name it, like Andre the Sheik, all those dudes that went through the
Even
AWA.
Sheik and Andre? No shit.
And Ricky the Dragon.
Drafted
Ricky
by
the
the
Dragon.
Bears in 1947.
Yep. dude, he was, yeah. And he was a legit Olympic athlete too, man. He like for wrestling and shit. So yeah, he was, he trained everybody. And I heard his training when you went to the NWA was just like these guys, he would take big dudes and make them humble, dude. Like guys who thought they were badasses, like the type of training he was
Yeah.
doing.
Basically the American equivalent of the Heart Dungeon.
I would say probably worse.
Damn.
They were just stretching guys in the dungeon. I mean, he was having these dudes run at like
calisthenics.
at all kinds of shit.
Okay.
Man. You
Ahead
got-
of his time, to say the least.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
dude, just a badass, and he didn't put up with shit. Just a tough dude. So shout out to Verne Gagne, R.I.P.
Ganja.
Yeah. Another old school guy for all you JP Woo out there, Chief Wahoo McDaniel.
Chief Wahoo.
He was on the Jets. Apparently, it says as the Jets opened their training camp on July 15th of 1965.
Old school.
And he played for 9 years with the Jets, Oilers, Broncos, and Dolphins. I'm seeing a lot of reoccurring teams.
Yeah, Oilers. A lot of Oilers.
Oilers, Dolphins, Broncos popped up a couple times now.
Yeah.
Bob
Falcons.
Sapp. You guys remember Bob Sapp?
No.
No? He played one game with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I remember him. No.
Yeah. But I thought I thought he was on that Miami team too with The Rock.
I don't know.
You guys might have to fact check me out there. But yeah.
Well, it's not Warren. Maybe it's Warren Sapp's little brother. You're probably thinking
that's who
Warren
it is.
Sapp.
Yeah, that's who it is.
No, Warren Sapp was on the Buccaneers, and I forget
Yeah.
what college he played for. But I think he was Florida State. He was like a #1 overall pick.
Next is Baron Corbin, a guy I really don't give two shits about. He's
Yeah,
in WWE right now. Constable Corbin. He's on Monday Night Raw. He was a former offensive lineman
for the Colts and the Cardinals.
Yeah, two teams that I really don't give a damn about. Division II, Northwest Missouri State before he went there. And what's his real name? Tom Pestock. Pestock.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry, Baron. You were picked on, weren't you?
You were.
Wait. Which one would you rather have, Tom Pestock or Tito Santana's original name, Mercer?
I would take Tito's just because Tito's way cooler.
Mercer. Just call me Mercer.
Just call me Mercer.
Just call me Mercer. I'm a disease. Don't get around me, baby.
We got a couple more good ones coming up here. JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, who was one half of the Acolytes, the APA, Acolyte Protection Agency. Really stiff guy. He'd like to teach guys lessons in the ring.
Really stiff.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he bloodied up the Blue Meanie.
Oh, God, that shit was
ECW.
legendary. Because it was funny.
He didn't like him.
Because if you looked at all the people punching in the ring, everybody's like maybe bruised. Fucking Blue Meanie's got blood all over his face. Like,
yeah.
Shit, you done fucked up.
Right? It says he once signed an undrafted free agent with the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
So, well, that's cool. Up next, another guy who I knew about this. Joe, you want to introduce this one?
Mr. Lex Luger?
Yeah. Sexy Lexi.
Wow, I never knew that.
You didn't know that, huh?
I never knew he was a football player.
Yeah.
Wow.
He spent short time with the Green Bay Packers. That's another team that's popping up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Packers.
And he ended up becoming a former WCW world champion and body slamming Yokozuna on that big carrier warship that.
Yeah.
And then he killed Miss Elizabeth with a bunch of prescription pills.
Don't forget he was also World Body Federation.
Oh yeah, the WBF.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's old school. Wow, man. The Packers? I wonder what position he played, too. I don't know. The nerds are going to have to fact check that. But Lex, dude, he was talking about physique.
Did you see him now?
Ripped.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
He looks dried out.
The narcissist. Well, yeah. I mean, he's lost all of his muscle. He
Who,
was in a
Lex
wheelchair
now?
for
Oh,
a little
really?
while.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, he looks.
I mean,
he
was a walking steroid.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that dude he just had that total roid build,
Another
You know
guy
that.
who's recently retired, I guess you should say, D'Angelo Williams. He's appeared a couple times with Impact Wrestling and actually didn't do too bad from the times I seen him. So yeah.
He played at Memphis for college, and then he was drafted by the Panthers
Mm-hmm.
in the first round in the 06 draft. I remember him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Here we go with another interesting guy. This guy was also a former tag team champion with Animal from LOD. When they brought
Really?
LOD back after Hawk had died, I'd say in the mid 2000s.
Okay, yeah, it would have.
Heidenreich. And then if you guys go on YouTube, there's that weird video where he pretty much presses little Michael Cole, the announcer, up there backstage, presses him up against the wall like. He's totally like nuts to butts, and he's like, "I have a poem for you."
Yeah, and look at this. He won. He was with the Redskins in
Yeah.
'92 and won a Super Bowl.
No shit.
Yeah,
That's nice. And then he
is
played in the
cool.
CFL.
CFL.
Yep.
He was an offensive lineman. It says
Played for
right
the
on.
Texas Terror in the Arena Football League.
Mhm. Mhm.
Nice. He was signed by several NFL teams,
Yeah.
including the Saints, Falcons, and the Redskins.
But then with the asterisk, it says he never played an NFL game due to getting cut in training camp.
yeah.
I'm
So every-
confused.
Oh no. Well, here's what
That was
happened.
after the fact.
They had cut him. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
So
he
I
did
saw
get a
what you
Super
were
Bowl
doing
ring,
there,
yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Moving on to another guy.
Sorry.
Bruiser Brody, one of the best big men and minds of the business
Yeah, that kind
ever.
of shocked me because I heard about his badassery of Scary Factor and shit.
Oh, yeah.
When I heard he was I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, he was had a great mind for the business. Unfortunately, was killed in Puerto Rico.
Damn.
Yeah, there's a big
there's-
stink about that. You guys
Yeah.
can Google that, and there's a lot of
Scandal and
Yeah.
controversy about who knows what and
Yep.
did it and who was in the room.
well, they know who did it, but it was a thing where it was a foreigner in a different country, and you weren't gonna do anything about
I mean, but then from what I've heard on Bruiser Brody is he would not take shit.
it.
Like
No, he would get if he didn't like you. Same thing as Andre, and he was a big fucking dude, and he was known for like just getting brutal.
Yeah,
in matches.
brawling.
that could be
style.
one of the guys
Yeah.
that Andre wouldn't fuck with because there was only like 2 or 3 people, including
A lot of
Haku.
guys have taken from him too. Like remember, like guys like the Viking or the Berserker, the Huss. He kind of that's like a Bruiser Brody-esque gimmick.
And he was known. He was an all-state football and basketball player in high school in the state of Michigan, and then he played at West Texas A&M.
Nice.
And then he played for the Redskins.
Nice.
So that dude, straight up athlete.
Yeah.
Basketball, football, wrestler.
Hell yeah.
The brawling style. He started it.
Yep. R.I.P. Bruiser Brody. A lot of guys on the list, man.
Yeah.
Up next, former Four Horsemen and father of current Impact Knockouts champion Tessa Blanchard, Tully Blanchard. He was the son of a wrestling promoter and former AWA star Joe Blanchard. So she's third generation, which is kind of cool. Let's see here. Who did he? West Texas State University, where he played football first as a quarterback,
right?
Then as a defensive end, alongside future fellow wrestlers Chico Santana and Ted DiBiase. And Terry Funk.
Yeah, both.
I never knew that.
Representing the region.
The region rat.
Hammond, Indiana. For those of you that don't know, we're dropping bombs of knowledge on you at JP Dub tonight. He's the son of
no idea he was
Dorothy and Dory Funk. Yeah. The family, let's see, following the end of World War II, the family relocated to Amarillo, Texas. And that's where, where the Funks kind of built their name.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up in the pro wrestling business. After graduating from high school, Funk attended West Texas State University, now West Texas A&M, where he competed in amateur wrestling and football.
Shout out to Terry Funk.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know he was a football player.
Hell yeah, the hardcore legend. He's still going at it. He's like 80. Yeah. He's retired like many times.
What, 7? Like at least 7 times?
Yeah.
Like he's the one that makes like when people talk about like retiring of wrestling, that's the joke come from because he keeps on going on and off, on and off.
Yeah.
Terry Funk.
Ken Blackman. Mostly he was or no, I'm thinking of Steve Blackman.
Yeah, Steve Blackman, the guy who did martial arts.
Yeah, no, it's the wrong guy. That's the wrong guy I'm thinking of right here.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Ed, you got too much knowledge on here. And
you could just split it to double episodes, too.
Yeah.
Sometime, if you want.
Are you giving me permission?
That's
a lot, but we got a good hour in, so.
Yeah. So, we'll come back to this again. Maybe as
and it could grow then. It has time to grow.
Yeah, that's what she said. Mm-hmm. But also, just real quick, I really like doing episodes like this where, my thing is wrestling kind of crosses over into like every little aspect of people's lives, and they may not know it. So I hope we kind of help fill you guys in on some stuff tonight. And also, for everybody's got to know now, Vince McMahon tried a little stint in football and promoting back in the day in 2001 with the XFL. It lasted 1 season. It is coming back. He announced last year, or was it early this year?
Early this year.
In 2020. They are making
coming back in 2020.
Yep.
Yeah, because he took out stock. He even he's putting out people.
Well, he actually appointed Andrew Luck's dad as the commissioner.
Really?
Yep.
Johnny Manziel, there's hope for you.
Well, there is, and I, before we end here, I just kind of want to get Joe, because you're more of the football guy. I want to get your opinion on. I mean, they're approaching it now like the first XFL, right? It was mainly like. That was when the Attitude Era was going strong. So it was a lot of like hocus pocus, like wrestling type shit, where we're going to put the nicknames on the back of the jerseys and all kinds of weird shit, that really didn't have the place in football. And hence the reason it only lasted a year.
We're going to have cameras near the female locker room. It's like, what?
Yeah. It was like stuff like that. But now Vince, who is... got to be a huge pro football fan. I mean, to bring this back and invest the millions of dollars that he's investing in.
Just worried about the quality of football that it is.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Is he's taking it very seriously. They're asking the fans and a lot of people, and they're putting actually together a good core group of football guys. Like especially like bringing in Andrew Luck's dad, and they got there's some other guys I can't name right now. But they're trying to figure out what fans want in football.
Well, you know what? Whatchamacallit, Clay Matthews just got a BS fine for a hit, and it messed up the whole game. Like Green Bay, I believe they lost, and it was like a textbook. He hit the quarterback, but there's such like all these ticky-tack rules right now. So if they just let the guys play, like not hurt each other or put your head down, but just let's see some big hits.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what they're asking.
Go in that direction.
What do you guys as fans of football want to see? Because we're going to present to you the game of football, but how do you want to see it like improved on?
Right.
And I think
more contact, like less, like
all these rules, man,
all
that
these
have
bullshit
been
rules.
Yeah. So I think we don't know. It's still too early to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But once we get a taste of it, when it comes around, I think maybe it could be a viable alternative to the NFL.
Yeah, why not?
And if anything, it gives other players a chance that might not be able to make it. Guys coming out of college or whatever. It's cool to have around, and it's also Dick Ebersol from NBC, who was Vince's partner in the original
50-50?
XFL. Yeah, also has it's called the American Football League, like it's like AAFL or something like that, which has just started up.
The arena?
It's not arena football.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
They don't say.
Studio.
But
picture myself.
I'd like to see it just a little bit more hard knocks.
Yeah.
A little bit more brutal. Make it fast. Make it all indoor too. Kind of like just make it brutal.
Yeah, that's what. And hey, anybody out there listening, you can voice your opinion. You can check out XFL. They're on every social media, Facebook and Twitter. They are looking for your guys, you football fans. They want to improve on the game. That's what it's about. So I think that's kind of cool. How can we improve the game of football? Because I think, dude, over the last couple of years, a lot of diehard fans, even I remember
I gave it 2-year break, and I'm getting back into it more, but it was just real ticky-tacky, all the defensive penalties and
all the politics
shit. All the politics,
like,
and just,
I don't want that in football, it's not like it, like in wrestling, you guys have come out and it usually, it's like, okay, well, this is like a shtick or something, they're not out there really preaching their political beliefs.
Yeah.
It's like because at the end of the day, it's entertainment.
It is all entertainment.
I mean, and the other thing is those guys are supposed to be like, how would you say, like heroes to kids and different things. Like, don't be forcing that shit on anybody. Do that in your own time off the field.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But like the whole kneeling thing, like I'm totally against it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to get into it.
Focus on football, on the game, and make it.
It became a circus. It was almost like the XFL was back. Like the NFL was like,
right.
What the hell are they doing?
What would be cool too is if they had these teams in like smaller cities. To bring some like economy to maybe a bad
Well, that's what they're looking
That's
at
a really
too.
good
They're
idea.
starting
Instead
off
of just putting something saturated like New York and shit.
Yeah,
Right.
like nobody's gonna give a shit about that in the bigger cities. But if you put it like if you have a team in South Bend,
Well, yeah, we'll say if
that's
it's a bigger
really
city
great
that never
point.
had a team, like LA's or Vegas is finally getting the Raiders, next year. Or is that next year or in the 2 years?
But, but like just smaller, kind of more obscure big cities.
And I think they're trying to do something like that. They're doing a lot of professional research and focus groups on this. So I think and you never bet against Vince McMahon, dude.
Yeah. He's a businessman.
He's a businessman. He's proven successful. He's a billionaire,
I'd like to see a team in Gary and have him play at the Railcat Stadium.
That would be awesome.
I would go to that.
Yeah. I would totally go.
Is it
There'd
big
probably be
enough?
some last Boy Scout type
Is it big
football.
enough?
Yeah.
They're bringing guns and stuff,
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not.
Gary, what would we call him? I don't know. Remember the rumor when the Bears were maybe going to move to Gary?
Yeah, I do
Back
remember
in the
that.
90s?
Yeah. Wow, dude.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Gary
yeah.
Bears.
The Gary Bear. I didn't like it though.
It didn't happen.
Chicago. All right, as we're wrapping up episode 26, I'd like to thank Joe for coming on. I'd like to thank Bobcat Ed,
Thanks for having me.
Bobcat Deveney.
Oh yeah. If you're bored or something, or just want to listen to something with maybe a little leftist, but I try to bring it down with just entertainment. Is
You're bringing me down.
oh, thanks.
Hopefully after a show I can bring you down on some.
Okay.
Downers.
The Gigi Stalin and the Absurdity Junkies.
Oh yeah, check them out. Where are you guys available at? Where can people check it out at?
Stitcher, I think, Podcast FM, iTunes.
Well, you guys are a part of the Green Door Network,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. They're on
So-
SoundCloud too. Your guys'
Mhm.
stuff is always
Oh yeah,
on
that was the
SoundCloud.
first one.
The first one. But yeah, Gigi Allen and the Absurdity Junkies. It's an
Stalin.
awesome. Oh yeah.
Gigi Stalin.
I said Allen, my bad.
I said
We've
that
got a lot of
last time, too.
botchamania moments on here tonight.
But yeah, it's a great
all right.
podcast.
Yeah, and then you all know and are all aware of Musically Meditated.
Yeah, check out Musically Meditated podcast.
Yeah.
It's on all listening platforms.
Yep.
Feel free to participate, subscribe, and share.
That's right. And also, not just listening. I mean, you can interact
Yeah,
with
please
Musically
interact.
Meditate on Twitter at Music Med Podcast.
Thank you.
You're on Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook. There's a Facebook group page.
Musically Meditated podcast listeners.
Yeah, look at you.
That was a lot to squeeze out, though.
Yeah, it is.
Just squeeze those
squeeze
cheeks real tight.
And what about JP Dub? Where are you available?
Well, if you guys are looking to hit up the JP Dub, we are on Twitter at JP Dub Podcast. We're on Instagram at Juice Pro Wrestling. We are on Facebook at Juice Pro Wrestling. We also have the JP Woo, which is I like to call anybody involved in Juice Pro Wrestling. That's the Juice Pro Wrestling universe. It's also a group on Facebook, so feel free to join that and share whatever. I really want to interact with you guys as far as it as long as it's got somewhat of a wrestling related theme to it, because wrestling, like we just discussed earlier, it kind of creeps into almost every little part of life, and people don't know it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, they was using Ric Flair monologues to inspire actual sports teams.
Oh yeah, he was
I
going
listen to him every morning to inspire me to kick ass.
Yeah, right.
At
dude.
work.
They whenever
Before Saturday
he was
night.
at a lot of Cavalier games too, dude.
Yeah, he was.
I think he's a LeBron fan though, more than he is like a Cleveland
Cleveland
fan.
guy? Makes
Yeah,
sense. Probably.
aren't they all? I'm not. I got much love for MJ. I'm old school, you know.
Oh yeah.
But LeBron ain't gonna hate, you know.
But yeah, feel free to participate on all those group pages. Don't be shy. People are shy.
Yeah,
seems
don't
like-
just hit the like button and like, oh, well, I know these guys are doing something and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, really interact. Don't be scared to do it.
Because it'll bring up ideas, for future episodes. And then for suggestions, too. We both have numbers.
Yeah, leave us a voicemail. Leave us some thoughts. You can call the JP Dub hotline, as I like to call. I wish I had Mean Gene running that thing. Like, get a nice voicemail from him. Scheme Gene Okerlund.
Scheming G-man.
But yeah, you can call us at 1-872-267-4199. Once again, that's 1-872-267-4199 for all your audio pleasures. Drop me a line.
Yeah.
And what's your number, Joe? Drop it out real quick.
Oh, man, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Why can't you remember?
Is it up there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's up there. Get them wet.
Okay, here it is.
Here it is.
Musically Meditated is 1-812-963-4727.
Once again, that's
1-812-963-4727.
hell yeah.
Hit me up.
Yeah, hit it up. And shout out real quick, I want to do like kind of ending segment. I'd like to bring on the show now. Just a quick shout out to a few of our Twitter followers out there. They're following at JP Dub Podcast. I'd like to send a shout out and follow these guys as well to California Indie Wrestling at Hoss Fighting. You can also follow Nadia Sapphire at Nadia_Sapphire and Delante Washing. I don't know what it is. It says he's a cool dude that loves wrestling, and he follows me.
What
That's
up, Delante?
Delante Washing 4. You can follow him.
I'm following him for sure.
You got to. Shout out to Craig Newline at Craig Newline. He's a social media manager at Wrestling Incorporated. We also got shout out to this one's gonna hit home, Mr. Riley to you.
Oh, that's Cousin Ian.
Cousin Ian.
Yeah, Ian, what up?
Following that JP Dub. Give him a follow back. Also, a quick shout out to Smart Clothing. That's Smart Mark Group, a pro wrestling inspired clothing line for fans. Hit them up. There's quite a few more. That's it for now. We're going to just give you a little taste because I'm pressed for time, I don't want Uncle Sret laying down the law on my candy ass.
No.
But anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. This was episode 20X. 20X. 20 licks from the tender.
From the tender.
Oh, so smooth.
Oh, man. This is Big Juice Stud for episode 26 from the Gridiron to the Squared Circle. We're going to be signing off for Joe Riley, for Bobcat Deveney. Adios, amigos, muchachos. And guess what? Sometimes you wear stretchy pants. Just for fun. Something to do. It's what you always wanted to do with your life. Check it out, though. Hit us up. Subscribe to Musically Meditated Podcast, Gigi Stalin and the Absurdity Junkies, and, of course, Juice Pro Wrestling. And get ready to wad 'em up, wad 'em up, wad 'em up, wad 'em up, wad 'em up. You gonna do sex to me?